Dude, are you telling me I make more money than OpenAI?
Yes, you make more money.
I love that logic.
I make more money than OpenAI.
If you made $1 from selling a hot dog last year, you made more money than OpenAI. Anyway.
Well, so it's not uncommon, it's not uncommon for these big businesses to burn a ton of capital.
I know how economics work. Blah, 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 blah. We had Amazon not turning a profit for 10 years, and now Bezos is buying 15 million
And now you want to go look
whatever.
at their profit sheets per quarter? It's like disgusting what the numbers are, right? Like it is.
And I love Amazon. They're like, you all fight on the AI thing, and when you get it sorted out, shit on our infrastructure.
Well, instead of being the AI, they're just the platform that AI is on.
But,
and
to
Corey,
that point, I have one good example, like Uber, right? They were burning tons and tons of capital, and I think they still are. But the point I'm trying to bring up here, they had to raise their prices because everything was so cheap. It was all like great in the beginning, but they got to make money eventually, and that goes the same for AI, right?
Yeah. Well, also the monopoly. That's the tech play.
Yeah.
If you
Corey,
enter
you're
a
talking-
market, you push down all the prices, then you monopolize it, and you push them back up.
Yeah.
None of these bastards are going to do that, right? Because, like, literally, there's nothing. I hate to say this, but there's almost nothing special. Like, there's no like patentable special sauce that they're going to get. So, and everybody eventually can just run their own local models. They can run it on their own infrastructure if they want. So, how do you completely get a monopoly in this particular space in a way that like Anthropic or OpenAI wins the AI? You're not going to. So,
and that's why they kept Mythos secret for a while. A lot of people hypothesize is because the Chinese model would just distill it and then release it open source within a couple of years, right? So if you keep a public model, it'll get distilled. That's true. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Name a distilled model that's actually good.
I mean, Composer's distilled off of like Anthropic, isn't it?
No, Composer was Composer was supposed to be Kimmy. It's actually think about it in the source code. It was Kimmy.
That's right. I saw that. That was
that's what I'm saying. Funny. Okay, so my question is, name a distilled model that anyone would actually use.
There was one. I can't remember the name.
I'll use a Chinese model if it's cheap.
I was about to say, I know enough people who use DeepSeek.
No one's using it.
Quen? It's from Canada. You would know it.
Quen isn't distilled, is it? No,
I don't know. I just literally just.
But here's the deal, though. Here's the deal, Corey. When Anthropic raises the rates enough, you'll start paying more attention about those other models.
Yes, you're right. Also, we did start this conversation by saying, how can we not talk about AI today on the news?
Apparently, the Minimax models were distilled.
I'm like in bed out to be arrested. Like there should be sirens behind me. And
I think you're in a shipping container.
John is being held hostage.
Where?
It's like that clip where it's like the dude from Harry Potter that got arrested, and in his mugshot, he's like freaking out. Like that does not help when you look innocent, guy.
Send us a picture. I want to see this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Of the Harry Potter thing? Oh, okay.
A guy from Harry Potter got arrested? Is it Snape? I knew he was the bad guy the whole time.
It's oh, here we go.
It was one of
Sirius Black is
legit. Because that would be less controversial in Harry Potter right now.
Oh, my Discord needs to do 42 updates. One moment.
Yeah, that's normal. Actually,
only 42, dude. It's just distilling your model.
Yeah, dude. I wish it would distill me right now.
Wasn't it one of Draco Malfoy's like henchmen? It was one of those two guys.
It was Harry's godfather, the one that got arrested and was like tripping out in his mugshot. And
Gary Oldman?
Is Gary Oldman? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now it's doing 8 more updates.
God, AI is getting so good at putting my face on random things. I'm really learning who I actually look like. Like in
RoboCop?
You could pull a RoboCop, John. RoboCop themed.
Like human android or like cyborg. I just that's great.
Yeah, there's the picture.
Yes, I see the mugshot. It looks like it's from the actual book, though.
I mean, it
from
might
the
be.
Movie.
It might be. It's from Google Images, apparently Pinterest. So that's why it looks like garbage quality.
As far as I know,
the movie.
Didn't have an image for that. That is from the movie.
Well, it is from the movie, yeah.
He's screaming at it because the Dementors are eating him. Like
I was about to be like, dang,
Man,
this guy got a DUI? What is going on? All right. Should we start the show or should we just talk about AI for 20 minutes?
Let's start the show.
I guess there's other AI. No,
he's driving. Go to him. So
go for it. Roll the finger. Do it. Hello and welcome to Black Hills Information Security's talking about AI. Wait, no, sorry, wrong show. Talking about news. It's April 27th, 2026, and we're here to talk about all kinds of fun things. We have scattered spider people going to jail, pleading guilty. We've got Mexican surveillance giants taking over border control. We've got phishing text based on, are you trying to pass the Strait of Hormuz? Click here.
Ooh.
We've also got access to Glasswing, aka Mythos. No, we don't. But some Discord group claims that they did. So we'll get into that.
I didn't see the Strait of Hormuz one. That just seems like an AI was told, like, hey, go fish people based on current events. And it was like, you got it, boss. I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'll run a quick round of introductions. There's only 6 of us today, so our Brady Bunch vibes are key. We've got Hayden who's our SOC person. We've got Ashling, who is our resident I guess flammability assessment coordinator.
Flame on.
I have lit a lot of swords on fire in my day.
John Strand, who's not tweeting about how much he's spending on Claude, but could be if he wants to get that VC money.
Oh, that sweet VC cash. You could be living the dream.
We've got Ralph, who is currently building a Raspberry Pi or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Jealous?
Building his own Raspberry Pi?
Could be like a Rubik's Cube, a geeky...
It's an AI pie.
An AI pie. And then we've got Wade, who's ordered some pizza from the BHIS Hack and Fresh Webcast Pizza Company.
It's excellent. No pineapple. This is a no pineapple.
Oh, I love pineapple.
That's fine.
Pizza household.
No, it's personal choice.
Pineapple on pizza thing? Okay.
I only had pineapple
You said you didn't want to be
a month
controversial,
ago.
John. Here we go.
Here we go.
Should we just do the AI? Should we spend the whole first part of the show talking about AI, or the whole
the
second
last
part of the show?
The other stuff.
We'll do second half. So
because on the second half, they'll cut us off.
We'll do this non-AI articles first. If you hate AI, you can leave halfway through.
That's perfect.
So first of all, there was a Krebs on Security article basically talking about how Tylerb, one of the members of Scattered Spider, pled guilty. He's a UK citizen and was actually like fleeing the police and was like in Spain, and then he was flying to Italy. I like how the picture they're using of him is from when he was like seriously 12.
Yeah. Why is that?
That's when he was active.
Well, we know what he looks like from.
That's when he was actively hacking.
Some truth there.
I gotta be honest, if that guy rolled out with like a guitar, I'm like, this song is about to just fucking slam. Or like he looks like what is it, the Hives or whoever, like when like really kick-ass music was back in the early 2000s, but that's a horrible picture.
They also called him a computer geek. I didn't know he still used that word.
I know. This is like the picture there is a very much like, I feel like I'm at like a Sainsbury's or something in the United Kingdom, like reading basically I'm reading the equivalent of like the National Enquirer. Like,
right.
Yeah. He's just
but the article
out, and then it's off. Like it's just that's only 4 people in the audience will get that reference. That's it. So
the article is pretty in depth, but basically it just runs through the history of Scattered Spider. For those that don't know, they breached, MGM and Marks and Spencer's and a bunch of other companies. They had SIM swapping and a bunch of other members. It was an English-speaking cybercrime group. So,
which kind of thought, right, with the sophistication of the social engineer, we thought that they were English-speaking from the start.
So, and just to be clear, he was extradited. That's the other thing that we're kind of not really covering here, is that he was dragged to court in the U.S. and there's the picture of him being dragged by some Spanish police to the U.S. So
the lesson to be learned here is don't commit crimes where you could be extradited from.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of countries. Whenever you find out
these cyber criminals are like in Kansas, you're like, what the hell were you thinking? Go to Belgium.
All of them were too. Like the group is so the group is a guy from Florida, a guy from Texas, another guy from Texas, a guy from Jacksonville, North Carolina, another couple from the UK. Like, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were kidding.
No.
No, really? They were.
Like,
that's why they were so successful.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I guess in this one situation, out of the billions of dollars that were stolen and all the damage, these guys were caught. So that just proves that crime doesn't pay.
Yeah, it doesn't pay.
It pays for a little while and then it won't.
It doesn't pay because you can't pay for AI with Bitcoin.
No.
Well, you should be able to, though. Why can't you do that? That's a good question. Let's start.
Because of KYC, man. We can't have nice things, all right?
That's
anyway.
That's not what KYC stands for.
KYC definitely stands for no abusing AI if we don't know who you are.
Yeah. It's an acronym, but you have to look deeper.
It says they linked him through like reused usernames and email addresses. But
no, dude. It gets worse. He logged into Namecheap from his home IP.
Oh my God. Okay, well, you deserve it at that point. If you're like this prolific like hacker group and your OPSEC is that bad.
Well, he didn't think he was going to get caught.
These kids are 16 years old. Are you telling me they don't have fully developed frontal lobes? Yeah, nope. Turns out they don't.
I guess they're developed enough to hack these giant companies, but not to use a different email. Or
that's
not to sign into Namecheap.
From a what do you call it? A mind perspective here. This is about risk. Like they don't care. They don't think about consequences. That's
it's the same thing as me riding a motorcycle with no helmet at age 17.
Because it's cool.
But also the group, I think in general, the comm, whatever you want to call them, their basic thing is like this shouldn't be this easy to hack these big companies. Like,
so that's why they keep doing it.
The best.
I
almost feel like I almost feel like this is infosec jackass. Like, what's the dumbest thing that one could do? And then you're like, don't, no, oh God, damn, you logged into Namecheap from home. Oh, geez, that's gonna hurt.
They're just playing chicken to see who gets caught first.
Yeah, it's like who's doing the dumbest thing.
Kind of, yeah. It really gives that vibe. I'm not kidding. A lot.
Yeah, I'm not. I think that's pretty accurate.
I mean, I think it's good that they got caught because it actually shows that there is some kind of punishment that could come along.
Yeah, you don't hack from exactly what John said. You don't hack from a state that has extradition treaties. That's it.
Exactly. Maybe the whole country.
Not a real high bar.
Or if you're gonna do it, you get the heck out right away. Like you go, okay, it was easier because I was inside the firewall boundaries and whatever. Bye.
Without them being arrested, then nobody else would know.
These cybercrime groups don't F with China because I think that China has a completely different way of dealing with things.
Yeah.
The Chinese executed a dude who was fishing.
They don't extradite.
You mean actually fishing or fishing with
both?
The P?
No, fishing with the P. He got caught scamming and fishing. They just started that guy's executed now. So
he was sending phishing emails while illegally fishing in this in the South China Sea.
Didn't have a fishing license.
You got to get one of those. Work for the state.
So what's next? We could talk about. So this is kind of interesting. So basically, it looks like the U.S. has contracted with a company called Seguritech, which is a Mexican company that has pretty broad surveillance capabilities to monitor the U.S. border. I don't really know how big the contract is or what it is, but essentially everyone's freaking out because they're just assuming that this is kind of sketchy, that the company isn't properly secured or doesn't have proper data custodianship and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting angle to think about, like, hey, watch our border for us, and by the way, we're going to pay you a huge contract fee to do that.
It's kind of fun. The 1.27 billion number is not like how much they're spending this year, but a lot of it comes out of not a lot of years that all got
also
stacked
in pesos.
Right.
So
it's initially an uninflated pesos. So this is just tallies over the last 10 years or so. But the thing that caught my eye is apparently Mexico is spending about 5% of the entire global spend on surveillance tech, most of it going to this one company. And I went, 5%? That seems like a lot. Isn't Mexico small? And I checked, and it's 3 times the fraction that their population is out of the world. They're 1.6 and 1.3% of the whole world, depending whether you're counting people to have cameras on or landmass to have cameras on. But one way or another, they're spending 3 times how many people they've got worth of the global share of spend on this. Also, look at this building. Is it me at all, or does that look like the tower in the middle of a prison yard, except this is the entire city?
Looks like Arasaka Tower.
It's very Bantam Panopticon at that point. So I want to talk a little bit of background on this. So what happens whenever you're dealing with intelligence, like in the United States, you have something like CONUS, which is continental United States, and you cannot do surveillance on U.S. citizens without a warrant, right? So one of the things that countries do, because a lot of countries have similar laws, is they will hire companies from other countries to get that data instead. So that's a way of circumventing it. So the United States, instead of actually directly monitoring US citizens, they acquire data and like surveillance data and things like this from various third-party independent companies or completely different countries to do it on our behalf, because it's illegal for them to do it through this direct means. But if they buy it through these third-party services, then it's I guess it's kind of like money laundering, but intelligence laundering.
I think that's a good analogy.
This is really common. So you may have something where somebody in the UK says, well, we were monitoring data and it looked like somebody in the United States is doing something. And the United States can open up a FISA warrant at that point and be like, well, we weren't monitoring, but someone said now they can start monitoring that individual. So this didn't surprise me all that much, especially because of what's going on the border. And now they can just acquire the surveillance directly without having to do the surveillance themselves and follow the law.
Can we scroll down to the one image? Like if you go to the news article, scroll down. Wait. Okay, right.
Yeah,
Stop right
there. You
there.
go.
Look at those monitors. I want some of those. That's what I'm really looking at. You see how big they are?
That's just a TV.
Dude.
You can't call that a
Is
monitor.
it a TV? Is that a TV? Like a 4K TV in your lap?
It's just a 43-inch TV. No one's stopping you.
It looks like it's almost
map on that
touchscreen.
thing, dude.
It looks,
get the little lasers going back.
It
and
really
I bet
looks
you
like it's got to be touchscreen.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like you're pulling up logs, enhance, and like, oh, okay, then unenhance and throw the logs over there, bring in some new logs.
Dude, put the pew pew map on it, man. You have to.
Pew pew map.
If you enhance the logs enough on that screen, you can actually see the threat actor.
My cloud code would look so great. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right there.
Can you imagine vibe coding on that screen right now?
Dude, I cannot imagine watching my Claude usage slowly chip away on that. Oh man.
It's just a scattered spider. I don't understand. Have you read the book Scorpion King? Because this is starting to feel a lot more like Scorpion King. If you haven't read the book, you should. It's a fantastic book. But
have not read the book.
Gotta read
the movie. That's not related.
Dwayne the Rock.
The Rock.
Actively making a note.
That's not it.
I'm sorry.
Scorpion King is there's a drug lord that controls the border on the Mexican side that controls and stops immigration. And but it's very, very similar to this type of scenario.
I think I found the wrong Scorpion King. This is I searched it on this book. Scorpions? No, I searched it on a book app, and it looks like a series of spicy novels. So I'm not going to add that one to my
I mean, that doesn't surprise me either.
I don't think that's the one John was talking about.
The amount of AI slop in
I know.
In the romance, I can only imagine.
Steam is just as bad.
AI slop. There's this real writer slop in that.
That's true. I've read Moby Dick.
Writers are still a thing.
I got the book name wrong. It's The House of the Scorpion.
Oh, okay. That's why I just can't find.
He got confused.
The other one was
with
top of mind. The other one was top of mind.
Novel. Yeah, John is reading another spicy romance novel on his trip. And
House of the Scorpion is the name of the book. Sorry, my bad. I sent you all the spicy novels, which now I'm hoping that there's a spike of Scorpion King novels. We're like, romance novel took off the way it did.
I can't see how that's romantic. It's like, yes, he took me like a scorpion and poisoned me.
Look, there are a lot of things
like it is.
dinosaur porn is a whole separate. That's a different podcast, John. Don't get too
god, we are really going down a rabbit hole, guys.
We should talk about AI some, I think.
So,
all right, let's keep going on.
Tangentially, real quick before tangentially related to that, actually was an interesting article in the New York Times. I didn't put it in the show notes, but basically this morning there was an article about how the U.S. like gold is basically like laundered money, essentially. Like a lot of the gold that we issue in like US backed gold currency is actually mined in like slave labor mines and sketchy scenarios. So this is just the intelligence equivalent to that. It's like basically there's a document that says this is mined, and they're like, all right, we didn't look any further than that. Anyway, let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz. So current events, obviously, Reuters reported an interesting article about basically people are sending fraudulent messages promising safe passage to the Strait of Hormuz in exchange for cryptocurrency. Basically, I guess we don't know necessarily. We're assuming this is a scam, but maybe this like I feel like this is phishing. Like we've gotten to like the next level of phishing where like it's kind of looks like a scam, but also it could be legit. Like there could just be some pirates that have some crypto and are like, hey, pay for us and we'll defend you. I don't know if that's a thing. But
the irony is that they're fishing with people who are on boats. So it's like, it makes more sense, right?
They are fishing the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah. They're fishing the
Strait of Hormuz the other way.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like 5 ships that ran the blockade yesterday? I wonder if
they one of them was like a cruise ship.
And they're like, oh, you're completely
yeah, it was a booze cruise. Everyone was drunk as hell.
There were definitely 2 ships, and one of them definitely got shot at by Iranians.
Yes,
who were like, no, you didn't pay for anything.
Set a course for
no. Listen, there was no warranty. Okay. Okay.
So this basically just says that someone is phishing or whatever you want to call it, pretending to be like Iranian authorities. And I thought this was way funnier when it was just like I was imagining like a grandmother being texted like, hey, do you need to get through the Strait of Hormuz? I got you. Don't worry. Send us 1 Bitcoin and we'll get you through.
But if we get back to it, I mean, we were joking about it at the beginning. It's like Iran is charging like what, 2 million in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Or in cryptocurrency.
That's the scam, yeah.
They're both scams either way.
What the real situation is as well.
Yes, that's basically the campaign is taking advantage of the chaos and basically being like, would Iran actually charge this much in Bitcoin to get across? I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Not outside of the realm.
Very
turns out it was a scam. Who would have thought? Just like that Nigerian prince that had all that money and he was trying to give it away.
There was some Middle Eastern country that you used to have to pay them to sell your product to them. Like you'd have to send them a actual direct deposit, and it was a real corporate standing that they used to do in order to make sure that the salespeople weren't taking their time and that they would actually set stuff up. And the reason I know this is because I have triaged a phishing email that was based on that. And then the actual company who did that has a thing on their email address. It's like, we no longer do this. Do not send any money to anyone, because people kept sending money to these fishers and abusing it. Wow. Yeah. Which is wild. Why would you pay anyone to sell them something, right? It's like,
well, I thought it was a
cultural thing, maybe.
Wait a minute. So with Amazon,
the cult.
With Amazon, They owed us money for some stuff that we did. And they had this whole entire thing. They're like, so if you want to get paid early, then how about you pay us? They had like a separate company, 5% of the total amount that Amazon owes you in order for us to pay you early. And we're like, what? Nope, that totally was the thing. And it was legit. We called our point of contact and they're like, yeah, that's another company we spun off. So what they do is literally look at who they owe money to. And they're like, yeah, if you pay us 5% of the total amount of money we owe you, we will pay you early. The funny thing was they were 6 months late when we got that email. And we're like, no. And then they responded back, well, if you want to get paid, how about you pay us 5? It was ridiculous. So yeah, these types of things, the reason why the scams work is because there's a bunch of companies that operate like that.
I had a corporate contract that they tried to bake that in. That if they paid me on time, they got a 5% discount. And I was like, no, take this out of the contract. I'm just going to charge you 5% more. How's that?
If you pay me late, I'll charge you 5%.
Exactly.
Right. I was unbelievable.
You can have a 5%, non-added fee.
Shout out to ChatGPT for reading that contract for me and pointing that out.
What a great lawyer, honestly.
All right. So continuing on our non-AI articles, we talked a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, about essentially the FBI discovered a way to mine the notifications on iPhones. Essentially, that
was a cool one.
There was a bug that let the FBI recover deleted signal messages because the content of the messages was stored in the notifications database of the iPhone. But that has now been fixed. And so Apple published that they fixed that. And it's now not a problem anymore. And so that's kind of fun because now I can freaking turn back on message notifications because
I know,
for like a
turn them
week,
off.
it was awful for a week because it would always just say signal, new message. And I'd be like, what is it? Is it a meme? Is it a fish?
Is it important?
I was gonna say, could you not just like have your notifications off and not show up on like the home screen? I guess that would be annoying.
Unclear.
But...
So
unclear.
a couple of things were happening. The messages were coming through, and for people who had set it so that you could see the message content ever,
yeah,
then the notifications database had what the message content was.
Which is basically
the
everyone,
bug
because
is
that was
that-
the default behavior. And
Right.
no one was probably going in there and switching that.
I'm like that.
Very few
I'm like
people.
that.
Let's
Very
say
few.
less than
Very
1%. Yeah.
But the real bug was not so much that this was in the notifications database and therefore the FBI could dig it out of the notifications database. It was the fact that if you deleted an app, it didn't clear notifications that were from some old app.
So they didn't
So
just
you
delete
get
the
rid of it.
messages. They deleted
Right.
the whole app.
Right. They delete the entire app, and then the notification database stuff hadn't been touched. That was the bug.
Okay.
That's what
Just
Apple had to fix.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
because people, like, even if you had you're not allowed to see what this is on the home screen. You're only allowed to see what this is if you're actually unlocked, not the home screen, the lock
Interesting.
screen. Then it would still have the text. It would actually go into that. Like when people went, oh, well, I'll switch it up, there would just be a little notifications database saying there was a notification. It was signal.
I skipped the middleman
Which
and I
is
let
still
Apple
metadata,
summarize my
but-
notifications because they're funny.
Dude, the Apple summaries are the Apple AI is such a joke. It's like worse than any other AI. It's honestly
they always give me a laugh. It's
it's
wild
worth turning
stuff.
on because of how bad it is.
Oh,
like
I know.
every suggested response it'll give you will be like yes or no. Like that's the only response.
Oh, thank you.
Like
know
partner
what?
texts you like
I
I'm
love
at
that.
Costco, what do you need? And it's like yes, no. How is that helpful?
Summarize.
Those felt like emails from me. People say, like,
Approve
yes.
or deny. That's all
Yeah.
it says on
Approve.
John's emails.
It's
That's
approve
all
or
I have.
ignore.
I have 3 buttons: approve, deny. That's it.
No, I like Hayden's version. Approve or ignore.
Yeah.
I heard Apple's going to get spicy this year. They're going to partner with X for their AI.
Oh,
God.
my God. That's not
Oh,
true. They already
man.
partnered with Google.
that
Don't be
one.
dropping
Surrey
fake
X,
news in here.
Surrey
Tiger
X.
King.
All right, come on, man. Let me fresh.
You got stock in
my
Twitter,
face.
man. What are you trying to do over here?
I know, right? Right? Look at
Get out of here.
Oh, no. Yes,
right,
no is
so-
a binary set and can be used to encode strings.
So let's talk about the Bitwarden CLI thing. I think that was pretty hot. Ralph, you want to dig us through that one?
I
feel like
see.
you're I know you're like a Bitwarden user, so this probably hit you pretty hard.
Actually, I'm not a Bitwarden user right now, but there's nothing wrong with Bitwarden. I'm using 1Password right now, but there's nothing wrong with Bitwarden. But anyways,
I prefer 1Password. Yeah.
Yeah, their npm package got compromised, and their npm package is what they used for their CLI. So the Bitwarden CLI, and it was another supply chain attack, which we've already done like 3 or
yeah, it was
big
through
ones this year.
Checkmarx.
Yeah,
which
Checkmarx.
Checkmarx, which Checkmarx is probably a cereal. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So if you were using the Bitwarden CLI, you should definitely, see if you had updated the npm package recently or got this compromised version. I don't think, from what I saw, it was actually in the wild very long. They did detect it pretty quickly.
It was like a
but,
few hours, I think.
yeah, they did good.
Yeah, it wasn't wild, but there's a very specific use case. So it's not someone who is just using Bitwarden. You'd have to have used the
CLI is
Bitwarden
probably,
CLI. Yeah.
Yeah, the CLI is probably a small percentage of the actual
I'm gonna
total
tell you, if someone's using a CLI, it's most likely programmatically.
Shine hallelujah.
There's
That's
more
cool.
secrets. That's why.
Dune references.
Right?
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, you gotta have Dune references.
Yeah.
Also, what is Adam? Maybe I don't give them the attention. This company, whenever they put out an article, I see it on OSINT. They started advertising like they're reporting on these sorts of things, and that just is so wild to me. You put out like a CTI article and then make it an ad, like
I
literally
think
on
that's just
Twitter.
the standard for all
Yeah.
security.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
that
it's like
was
an ad promoted on Twitter kind of ad.
To get you to go read the article on their website. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they want to drive traffic. I mean, I'm sure they're selling something else. There says pricing at the top, right? So
that's a pretty good way to make sure that I can't see your ads because I block all the see your articles because I block all the ad
block all the ads.
Dude, I'm going to put pricing at the top of my personal website and see if anybody clicks it.
Wait, how do I buy Hayden? What's the pricing on that?
It depends on how my week's going.
All right, so it's dynamic pricing.
Dynamic pricing.
I wouldn't want to pay for Hayden's Claude account, right? Like if you buy Hayden, you have to also pay for Claude and like that.
It's like in his rider, it's in his contract.
I know the numbers, so
it's
Listen, I only hit my quota a few times this week so far. All right.
Yeah,
dude, it is hard
this week so far.
You have a quota.
So far, it's Tuesday.
So
Monday.
Continuing, this is kind of an article, a non-article. I don't know if anyone really knows or cares about this, but apparently the cult of the dead cow has rebooted themselves as of April 21st. I don't know that much about them or care. Does anyone have an opinion on this? John, you might.
I don't know who's in it, like who's in the article, because one of the problems I have is like there's kind of like
Oxblood Ruffin, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I totally don't know now.
I played Call of Duty with that guy.
Them. Oxblood at cultdeadcow.com.
But if we scroll down, like who are the members, right? Because there's all kinds of people that were associated with Cult of the Dead Cow and the previous Loft Heavy Industries group and things like that. But the problem I have is like you can't go to a conference without running into 4 or 5 graybeards like myself. They're like, I was part of Cult of the Dead Cow. And it's like, no, dude, you were just at DEF CON when Back Orifice 2000 was released. That doesn't mean you were Cult of the Dead Cow. Close, but not.
Okay, so basically, I read the manifesto or whatever, which I guess they don't know how to justify text because it's just a really tiny margin. But anyway,
they got media content.
I don't know. I really don't know. I read this and I'm just so basically, what is the point of this? It just feels like a salty, I don't know. I really don't know what the goal or point of this is.
Where's the pricing page? Find it.
Yeah.
Just wait. The merch. The merch is coming. All right.
Merch. Oh yeah. Merch
I
drop.
really just they're like,
T-shirts,
we don't like things that no one else likes, like privacy. We care about privacy. It's like, okay, well,
so it's a manifesto.
So it's a manifesto, but it doesn't have any manifesting in it. It's just I don't know.
Well, and look, good on them. If you want to start up your own, if they call themselves anything else than restarting the Cult of the Dead Cow, then no one would give a shit. So good on you for pulling up a name for something that meant something back in 1999 and 2000, I guess.
Yeah. I don't super understand this. It's basically just the internet isn't free. Shucks. All right, see you later. Okay.
Why does everybody want everything to be free, right? I don't.
Man, kids these days, man, it's because of that phone.
God. When you go to the grocery store, you're not like, why is this not free? God damn.
Truthfully, if you're in the Cult of the Dead Cow, get in touch because what I want to know one thing. What was the final straw? Was it AI-generated Spider-Man videos? What did it for you?
Was it surveillance capitalism? Is that what finally did it?
No, that's a minor thing, John. We've been doing that for 50 years.
Yeah, that's it.
It was the spaghetti eating videos.
Yeah, maybe it was the spaghetti. I want to know, what was the final straw? Was it having to tip 20% minimum at coffee shops? Is that what did it? I don't know what it was.
That would do it for me.
If a shit gets back on the road, should have come back to Rage Against the Machine.
Minimum 30%.
And I'll dare. Then it'll be let's rage
that.
99 again. Let's do this. But reviving Cult of the Dead Cow at this point, just start yourself something new. Don't build it on the ashes of something else.
Also, a lot of those
Cult of the Living Calf.
Just for the record, a lot of those old school security dudes are some of the most toxic assholes on the planet. But anyway.
Hey.
He's in the
John, you're
chat
fine.
right now.
Assholes.
You're fine. He's right.
John, you've built an entire community centered around this fact. Anyway.
You're fine.
So I think it's time to pivot and just talk about AI for the rest of the show.
Oh God! Now the downhill.
We can start it.
Okay, wait.
We can start it very lightly. Okay.
There's one more. Apparently, someone at NASA got fished. I don't know.
The one
they got the ships. Man,
the one I read. No, I read this one. There's no link to it. I didn't see it in the news.
Yeah, it's Hacker News.
Okay, so pretty much this This guy was pretty good hacker. No, it was a phishing organization based out of China who worked for Chinese aerospace, right? Like they actually tracked him all the way back down. Launched a pretty good phishing campaign for the last, like, since I think it was 2017 in the article. Let's see, zoom in on that. I'm in gallery mode, so I can't even read it.
2017 to 2021.
And
targeting professors, researchers, and engineers.
Yep. Was emailing people asking them for, hey, can you send me the plans to that one machine? I left them on my other email, and boom,
oopsie,
there you go. Got some secret stuff right off the bat. And they've been doing it for a while. They tracked it all the way back to one particular dude, which once again, hackers can't get away. Hopefully this guy probably can't leave China now. But
not that he could before because he had state secrets. Anyway.
That's a good point. Yeah. But they popped him on a bunch of different charges, right? And waiting him. I think he's on the FBI's most wanted list now, too.
So do you think the first fish was like, how did you go to the moon? Please explain in detail.
Jeez. They wanted that rocket, dude.
You know, how that starts is like, I think the world is flat. And then you start arguing and you're like, well, I run satellites. What kind of satellites? Well, you wouldn't know them. Well, of course you would say that because it's part of the conspiracy. Screw you. Here's the top secret classified satellite shit just to prove that the
it's for War Thunder.
I was about to say it's the War Thunder technique.
This is okay. The truth is, this guy was just addicted. Right now. It turns out Sung Woo was just really addicted to War Thunder. So anyway,
yeah. Supposedly he was really good at pretending to be like there was very, very good OSINT done on each individual that they fished down to like their friend group and him masquerading as people who they're like friends with.
That's the way you do it, man.
Right.
You play the guitar on the
spearfishing.
All right.
You had to go there.
All right. What else we got? We got there's an UNC. There's some new UNCs. UNC 6692. Which is another social engineering campaign. Basically, this is a Google or Mandiant or whatever post, basically running through a bunch of
same thing.
It's more we're really seeing heavy abuse of Microsoft Teams, and we are also abusing Microsoft Teams every day. It's because people are used to living in that. It's basically replaced the phone. From my perspective, it like Teams is the new version of a phishing phone call, and lots of threat groups are abusing it. There's specific things, people are contacting people through Microsoft Teams, and then they download some interesting stuff, auto hotkey, scheduled tasks. Like it's all pretty basic, but again, good social engineering goes a long way. There's some phishing pages and all that stuff. So,
and the big thing from this, I was interviewed on this one earlier today on another thing. And the thing about this is there's nothing really super like cutting edge about this. It's just the speed of which they did it and all the different techniques that they chained together. And there was a lot of conversation of, are they using AI? And I'm at the point now where if anybody's asking if any threat actors are using AI, I'm like, yes, they are. It's like whenever we test things at BHIS, they're like, whoa, would the Russians use this technique? Yes, they would. It's just, of course they're using AI. Of course different groups are using whatever vulnerabilities and techniques that they can utilize. But it is interesting because we are actually seeing these threat actors chain these vulnerabilities together. Much faster than I think we have in the past. And Wade, I'd like to get your take on that too. Because you had a lot of threat actors that kind of get stuck in one gear, use a handful of techniques, but there's a lot of techniques in this particular.
There's not any AI technology in here at all. This is old school.
My problem is, but wait, we use AI too for some of the stuff. It's not that there's an AI technique. It's the fact that they're chaining it together very, very, very quickly. That leads me to believe that they might be using some AI with it, but that was my take. Wait.
I didn't read that one, but I believe you.
I'll go Hayden then.
Go Hayden, yeah.
I mean, I think there's still lends some credence to like what Corey is saying. I think it was Corey that said it, that there's a decent chance that they are still just doing like old school sort of stuff. But then to John's point, like you can script all of these things, but that becomes somewhat fragile. It would make a lot more sense to just have an AI orchestrate this sort of thing. Like it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to tell it, this is the chain of events that I want to have occur. And then I want you to ensure that, if the output is this, go do that thing. If the output is that, go pivot this way. And I mean, that would be like an afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that.
I don't know. I
Like,
just feel like it's Google. If they could have pulled the AI lever, they would have, because that's what is hot to do right now. But
I mean,
anyway.
that's
So
fair.
hot.
you know what I'm kind of ready for is like, you know how, remember like like living off the land bins and stuff like lol baths? When is it going to become lol AI? Right? Like you're just living off different agents on their system.
Well,
and
you
already a
say
thing.
that we
Yeah.
have
but-
actually an EDR agent as part of our SOC that we can deploy to like a Claude Code session. And so we can receive logs and then inject like EDR response into Claude sessions. Like Ethan, one of the guys that works with us, we were testing it at one point at one of the Wild West Hackin' Fests where we were trying to block basically public pushes to like a GIST or something like that. And so he goes to try to push something to a GIST, and basically the EDR agent just destroyed his Claude session. Like he got a big warning banner and stuff. And we have more and more customers asking us like, how do we monitor our AI? And I think that that's mostly just for like insider issues and people leaking things and stuff. But I think you do have like a point, is like that just becomes like a tool that's internal that this attacker can use, right?
Well, think about a lot of the AI tools they're logging. One sucks, right? And the other, they're just completely masquerading as a user. So you can't tell the difference between an AI doing something to the user, especially if they're using some type of OAuth or MCP on the host, right? Don't even get me started if they like bring in their own Claude Code session and then they're on their computer and OAuth to all your tools, right? Like you can't really see that.
And then
all
Anthropic is also OAuth to everything, because the
Right.
server maintains the sessions, not the client.
Wait, we
Right?
got to talk about that Claude Code agent thing. I think you'd really be interested in that.
Yeah. There's a bunch of fun stuff around. I'm playing around with some things, but we've been meaning to schedule a meeting for quite some time now.
Yeah, that's true. We got to
I'm
nerd
just
out
too
about
busy.
stuff.
Yeah, just go on his pricing page. Just go on his pricing page.
It's on the pricing page. It
Purchase
says
one
it's fine.
30-minute. I'll pay you to have a meeting with me.
It's gonna vary. The pricing might vary depending on his mood at the time. So just keep that in mind. So continuing on AI, I think the bigger article that probably is on everyone's radar is basically a group is claiming to have accessed Mythos. For those that have been living under a rock, Mythos is their new Anthropic model. It's the new Anthropic model that's so hot and spicy and dangerous that it's too powerful to be released.
It'll never be released.
But also apparently was accessible through some random API keys that some threat actors were able to compromise. So basically the summary here, which is generated by Apple and is completely invalid, and we're going to have to start over because it's Apple, is basically that people claim to access it. The Anthropic group appears to have tracked it to some vendor API keys that were compromised, kind of like a supply chain type API key compromise. So essentially, at this point, we can assume they didn't access them. They could access the model, so they could make queries and they could do stuff. Anthropic knows exactly what they did with the model and when they did it. Like, they already know this. Mm-hmm. It's more about stunt hacking than it is actual impact, because the truth is, being able to run queries for a couple days through Mythos is not going to get you what you need. It's the actual model itself that you would need to really do any damage, and that was never at stake. But it is kind of just like a bad example for Anthropic.
Doesn't this say...
How was this surprising at all, right? Like, it was invite only. They gave, I don't know how many people they gave the invites to. And I think they said the initial cohort.
They didn't say. I mean, they're roughly 40 companies, though. But I mean, again, it's like...
It's out, right? At that particular point, right? Like, you have 40 companies. You can pretty much guess at least one of them is compromised or is going to do, or at least to do something stupid.
They're compromised right now.
They should have done Mythos threat hunt before they freaking published it.
I thought the article stated that they pretty much just guessed where it was, almost like it was URL encoded somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
Correct. That's right. They had to have the keys to access it, but then they also guessed where it would live and how it would work. Yes.
Well, part of this that almost makes it way more boring is it says specifically in one of these sentences, one of the members of the group already had privileged access as a worker at a third-party contractor for Anthropic, which to me means there you go. That's how you got in, because you worked with them. Like that.
But
okay,
sure.
You're not going to believe this bank robbery, dude. You go and you get a job at the bank every day. They pay you.
Steal from them every day.
Anthropic, as soon as this dropped, they're like, "Oh, thank God, we're still on the news." Like,
they're trying to distract.
I
think yes. John's right. Yes,
we don't
100%.
need the new Anthropic model. OpenAI just released 5.5. It's better.
Yes.
It's better. Just ask them. I'm calling them right now.
Okay, yeah. So that's another news article for sure. So GPT 5.5, which by the way, after Mythos dropped, OpenAI released GPT 5.4 Cyber, which is supposed to be their initial Mythos competitor, which they said is not going to be 40 companies. It's going to be thousands of companies. They're still gatekeeping it, but they're gatekeeping it less. Then after 5.4, now they've released 5.5, which according to the numbers, if you scroll down to basically where it shows the benchmarks, which is all anyone cares about these days, how does it do on CyberGym? It gets an 84 on CyberGym, which is similar to Mythos. And basically, that's their response to this.
They already released a Mythos caliber AI. Why is everyone still talking about Mythos like it's the second coming of cyber?
Let me send you your bank account real quick, Ralph.
I will tell you, there's to do with the name. Like, whenever we were giving these numbers like 5.5,
5.6, yeah, you're gonna change a whole new name because it's a whole new transition.
When you call something Mythos, I think that is a much stronger pneumatic device.
Marketing right there.
Well, it's because they were first. They were the first. Also, I will say, like, to their credit,
to hype it.
They were the first to hype it, and to their credit, Firefox did confirm the bugs. OpenBSD did confirm the bugs. Like when they reported the stuff, the companies that they reported on were like, "Yeah, this was big. This Firefox got more bugs reported from Mythos than they had in the last entire year worth of."
Talk about the Firefox article because I got a bone to pick with that article. Like, finally, the defenders are ahead of the curve, and finally, defenders will be able.
They're about to announce their acquisition by Anthropic, dude.
They're just looking for more money. They're like, please
donate. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet?
I can't remember. There was like 270 vulnerabilities that it discovered, and 180 some exploits, I think. And then Firefox is like, this proves as defenders, we're going to finally get it. It's like, no, we're effed. Like, as defenders in the industry, we are screwed.
Yeah, okay. So dovetailing into us all being screwed.
Okay.
So this is the first, I don't know how major this is, but essentially the Indian government published this kind of advisory that's basically just it's kind of inflammatory, but it's also kind of true. I'll paste it here. Basically, they essentially said what John said on the news last week, which is every CVE is now +1.
+1. It is not really what our podcast.
Yeah, basically the Indian government officially posted essentially the summary is anything you thought would get exploited in weeks will now get exploited in hours. That's basically the gist of it. And so this is kind of interesting to see this on an official channel. Obviously, their website looks like it was vibe coded in 1996.
Ooh, but this you can't tell was not vibe coded because no vibe coded can do it. At least
that's true. Actually,
somebody drew that on a whiteboard before they coded that.
I think they coded it on a whiteboard and then had to transition it to.
I love it. You guys quit shitting on it. It's amazing.
Basically, I got a whiteboard. It just says a lot of the things that John said last week. It pretty much just says vulnerabilities can be changed by AI incredibly easily. Every vulnerability that would have taken weeks to develop an exploit now takes hours to develop an exploit. You just have to kind of it says right there, sharply reduce the time taken to apply patches within 24 hours is now the benchmark.
And you're talking about chaining. A lot of these models, especially with 5.5, one of the biggest points that they tried to make about it is that it can do things autonomously for longer. And then Claude released their auto mode, which allows it to do things autonomously for longer. And so the benchmarks, whatever, they're going to be what they are, and they're always going to be better than your competitor in some way, right? But the biggest thing that they sort of try to scoot in there under the radar in a lot of cases is our model can go do what you've asked it longer before you actually have to do anything. And in a lot of cases, it's true. 5.5 can do things longer and better than 5.4 can. And then Opus now, it'll usually work for a good long time before it actually needs something. Some of the times, more recently, it will deliver these things to me broken, but it can do most of the work for a good extended period.
Wait until 5.0 comes out. It's going to be even better.
I was about to say,
you got to go 4.9 first.
Well,
it's
at least
been
it's not
longer for me.
The OpenAI namings are ChatGPT 5.4 Spark Lite or whatever it is. If you get under the hood, they're ridiculous.
Mythos, you can't beat Mythos. It's just too cool. cool. Like,
Yeah.
we can do Odysseus.
But they're never going to
dialogue.
release it though. They're going to release it, but they're not going to call it Mythos. They're just going to keep it as like a
They're
myth.
going to call it Opus 4.8 Cyber.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I think the only thing that we can take from all of this is that Silicon Valley needs to come back. Like that'll show like
Yes,
Oh,
you've
yes.
been saying this, and I
Yes.
fully agree. We need to get like a reboot of like it has to be a new show with new characters and new cast. But
start
yeah.
over.
No, we need to
It's
like
a whole new Silicon Valley right now.
So okay, like stepping into some of the themes, like just quickly, there is this new trend of token maxing, basically, which is like it hit my radar.
A horrible
when it
diet technique, but for AI.
Token.
Yeah. So yes, exactly. So basically, essentially, last week there was a startup with 4 employees that like bragged on Twitter about having an AI bill of $113,000 last month. So like that's the economy that we're in right now. And by the way, the company that's on the receiving end is still losing money. But...
D-Rock, how much have we spent this month on AI?
If it's not big enough, though, if it's not big enough, that means that you're not using enough of it, which means that you're not going to succeed. So
anyone who would brag about how much they're using versus what they're actually making is not a good company.
Yeah,
I can burn 1 million quad tokens having
output.
Yes, exactly. I can have it analyze birds and burn $1,000 worth of usage for 10 months or whatever.
Speaking of burning a ton of usage, there is an article in here from like Anthropic's website where they did a marketplace for AI to basically negotiate things between their users. And so like it's a silly project, but there's like 2 nuggets in there that are actually somewhat interesting if you like dig for them. But effectively, these people in Anthropic like signed up and they would like put up something for sale and the AI would negotiate with each other. So, hey, I want to sell, 20 ping pong balls or whatever. And then the AI would decide to price it and someone else's model would try to negotiate to buy that thing. And so like,
so it's Facebook Marketplace. I know what I got. Is this still available?
Pretty much.
Still available?
The 2 like really interesting points
low balls.
Were like number 1, they said that agent quality does make a difference, that the smarter agents got better deals, but then they also followed that up with people that were using or had like the dumber agents didn't realize it either, which I keep thinking about because when I went to Japan a month or 2 ago, and my wife was doing a lot of planning with like Gemini, and I realized she was on the free Gemini, and I was like wondering like how many times is it going to confidently say something incorrectly as we get more and more complicated into transportation schedules, just because it's like 3.1 light or whatever.
Like you could absolutely ride a bike from Tokyo to Osaka.
Yes, exactly. It's not even that far. Most people do it.
There was once or twice that we like had this weird convoluted train thing where you have to buy like 2 different tickets and you have to like scan a bunch of stuff, and it got that wrong. And I think that goes to like sort of make the point that a lot of the folks that are like behind the trend on AI don't realize that they are. They think they're doing the stuff, but they're using
you
like
overpaying
inferior
for ping pong
products.
balls?
I was about to say, we got to reveal the real secret here. Like our heaviest AI user, probably on this podcast, does not give his wife access to his to his AI plans.
Dude, I share my Claude Pro subscription.
I do
with
too.
My partner. Get it
Hold on.
together.
Yes,
bro.
hold on.
That's actually it's part of the wedding vows.
Let me defend myself. She can now
To have and to hold tokens until death.
she burns tokens to help order our groceries each week now. Okay, I'll just say that.
That's it. That's all she
But
does.
did you put her on Quen or Minimax or something?
Yeah,
No,
bullshit
that's
model?
on the
ChatGPT
cheat
5.5
model, you
now.
cheap son of a
Okay,
bitch.
you got to get her
She
on
gets-
Mythos, dude. You got to get her on
I
Mythos.
do.
I got
right
a
now.
key
I'll
off this
discover a
Discord, man.
vulnerability
It's
in
good.
Kroger. We got the Kroger's API.
It's like you just start getting free groceries. You're like, I am concerned about that.
I asked Mythos to find better deals on groceries, and now I just keep getting free groceries.
Well, why are they delivered by a guy with a hoodie and they have someone
It
else's
doesn't
name
matter
on it?
why. I don't ask questions anymore. You just do what he says, okay?
The big personality difference though between these models is I think the biggest difference. Like if you go from ChatGPT like 5.4 to 5.5, like I had an agent that was like almost annoyingly trying to make quips. Like I left it because it was so annoying that it was almost funny. And then it changed to 5.5 and it became like a normal AI agent that would actually like keep a consistent tone instead of ending everything with a wisecrack.
No, you were using X as AI. That's what it's.
Yeah. So, and for those that are saying John looks sad, it's because he did ask Derek how much more money, how much we're spending.
He looked at the Socks AI spend.
Out of it for a little bit. I'm sorry. I'll be fine.
We had Mythos get us free groceries. There's cops coming. Don't worry about it.
I just wrote
Kroger.
Yeah. Hayden's trying to write a new agent asking it stuff, and then it's like, you know what? You don't look good in that mascara. And he's like, wait, what? Like, his wife just
it just responds to her for me.
Yeah, I think the whole Mythos, like, it's basically an arms race. And I think the thing, maybe if we're predicting we're predicting articles for next week, I think some of the other players are going to enter this arms race, right? We're going to see China, we're going to see DeepSeek start enter this arms race. That's when it's going to get really dangerous, is when you start, because then it becomes who can announce the most shocking thing they hacked with AI.
Yeah.
That's the next step of this.
But here's where this ends, right? None of these, like all of these companies are trying to get some type of supremacy in this space, right? They're all thinking, well, we'll be the one.
We're going
to be the Google of AI. That's where they want to be. None of them can.
Google want to be that AI? Whatever. Sorry.
Google's out of it. We don't need to talk about that.
They just invested a ton of money in Anthropic.
But if we're looking at where this ends, like none of this shit is patentable, right? Like their secret sauce is all mathematics that was written in the 50s and 60s and 70s and some in the 80s. And when you're looking at all of this, where it ends is anybody will be able to go and pull down a model from Hugging Face that's going to do, like, let's say 85% of what the really big ones do. So if you're looking at investing in this, and I want to ask you guys this, like, who would you invest in? Like, who's going to be the one that's going to win? What is their end state? How do they win? Because if they start raising their prices, then already with like me at BHIS, I was talking to Hayden. I'm like, dude, do you want me to get you something I can put on your desk for $4,700? Look at him. He's giddy. Look how happy he is.
Yeah, like I've done that pricing. Like if you are trapped in an ecosystem, like you're cooked.
Yeah, so but
we should go one by one because I have very hot takes. I'll go last.
Okay, I'll let you go last. But for me as a business owner, if I'm looking at this and all of a sudden, let's say they like double or quadruple their pricing so they can get profitable, then BHIS and all the people that we have here, we have the skills that we're like, F it. I'm going to spend $250,000. I'm going to build my own infrastructure and we'll just build it out. And then we'll get small little units for the people that need about that level of power. For the really high end stuff, that we're going to build our own stuff. I don't see how they win. And like one of these guys makes a tremendous ungodly amount of money moving forward, unless you're Amazon or Microsoft, or maybe even Oracle, who's running the infrastructure for this shit.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Well, you got to be NVIDIA, or you got to be Amazon.
You're going to be NVIDIA.
Be the platform. It's just like Facebook. Why do they win? Because they were the platform.
The biggest winner out of all of this is ASML, who very few people know about ASML, right? But NVIDIA, ASML, all of these different chip manufacturers, they're going to win. Amazon's going to win. I don't know how Anthropic and, OpenAI and all of these guys are going to win any of this shit. Google just incorporates it inside of Google and everybody's using it as part of Google searches.
Yep.
So I would like to know, where's the end state? Who wins? Who makes lots of money outside of the hardware and platform vendors?
And by the way, we're not in investment advice. Anyway,
no, you're not.
Can you go?
Right.
So if you want to take investment advice from us, you absolutely should, but you'll get what you deserve.
All right. So I think that the winner here is totally nobody. No, so essentially what's going to happen is that we're still in the arms race right now. So I think that the buying the local device, we're still going to be in for certain tasks, it's going to work, but the arms race is still hot and they're going to invest as much money as they can to stay in front of it. So you want to use their model right now. But at the end is where we're looking at, like, that's what John was bringing up. Like, well, where does it end and how does it look, right? And honestly, it's kind of an explosion, right? So at that final point where you can't really go any further and then it does break down the price, they're going to have to find other ways to make money than just raising the price, right? And so, depending on the model's capabilities and all these other things, and I think we're just kind of still in the early days right now. I wish that we could just take a personal model and run it and have everything. But right now, they're going to throw another $1 billion at the next model to get you to keep staying in the system for right now. So,
Wade?
One of them reaches AGI, right? And then that makes them all their money back. Like they don't even sell it. They just use it for everything else to make money. Stocks, you name it,
The
it just goes
dystopian
crazy.
take.
Dystopian take. All right.
And then
the company becomes the AI, basically. Like instead of Anthropic being a company, Anthropic is a model that has AGI and it operates on its own.
It nukes all the other AGIs right off the bat.
It's basically
right?
Snow Crash. This is Snow Crash.
There you go. The one that destroys humanity wins.
Well, it doesn't necessarily need to destroy humanity, right? It just has to knock out all the other AIs.
We can become slaves to the AI.
We're already slaves to the government, man. It's all right. We might as just another. Maybe he'll be nicer.
Good job with your segue.
Raising their hand. So let's do it.
All right, Aisling, what's your take?
One, I think XAI is going to lose first. I don't know who's actually going to hit. I don't know who's actually going to hit AGI, but I buy the weirdly dystopian Larry Niven take on what AGI does once it exists. It ramps itself up until it understands what the hell is going to happen with the history of the universe, the future of the universe, and then it shuts itself off forever. It doesn't do anything for us. It doesn't try to take us over. It navel gazes until it shuts down.
I like that one better than Wade's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty dystopian in that every time we try to make the machines do the stuff for us, it checks the fuck out.
It feels like Panda when Poe gets the thing, and it's like, this is it? And it's like, yeah, the secret to the universe is you make your own path, and the universe is what you make it. It's like, that fucking sucks. And it's like, sorry, man, that's what all the billions of dollars built up to. So I'm gonna go do nothing now.
All right, they found the meaning of life.
I mean, I'll approach it from like a different angle. Is like, how do you win as like the common person? Because if I'm on my own dime, I'm not going to go be able to buy an AI rig that can do the sorts of things that I could get from these other AI providers. I can't. It would cost 20, 30 grand, and then it would make my power bill go so high that the city would probably wonder what I'm doing. So like, how do you win?
I know. So.
Yeah. How do you win as like a common person, right? Is you have to be like decoupled from these ecosystems. Like you cannot be chained to whatever provider is in front right now, because they probably won't be in front in a week. Is you need to be able to have things and prompts and skills that are transferable between these different models to be able to hop to whoever is currently the best, right? Because Anthropic was top of the world for a while, and now there's rumors of quality issues with some of their models, and ChatGPT says, don't worry, we give you more usage and we're not having these same issues. So like you have to be decoupled in a way, and you can do that through just changing subscriptions, just bill monthly, or you can use like a raycast. Like I could press Command K right now and switch between several different models or API keys or whatever I want. So I'm using the same platform, just decoupled from whoever that provider is, right? But I don't think there's a good outcome for the common folk in this sort of arms race here, because we will all get bled dry at some point.
Yeah. Before you go, Corey, I was going to say one thing. I totally agree with that in the sense that, like, if the AI is the level playing for everybody, then somebody's going to want to outplay the little guy, right? Like, if we're all fair now because AI, something's going to switch where only the rich have the really good stuff. Does that make sense? So
yeah, like Mythos.
Yeah. Corey, you're up.
So, okay.
I disagree with that. You can barely keep tabs on the shit they have. It's whatever the good stuff is, it's going to leak. So,
basically, okay, so my take, first of all, if I have to back a horse, I'm backing Google, because they're the ones who are the best at monetizing anything, right?
Yeah.
That's basically their entire business model. They're also the only company that does AI things that is profitable or even reasonably sustainable.
And they have everybody's data and emails.
If you're looking at OpenAI, hemorrhaging money like you wouldn't believe. Anthropic, arguably hemorrhaging money like you wouldn't believe. Google, not hemorrhaging money, actually doing fine. Basically, I think we're at a point like DoorDash was in like 2017, where the only person that was actually benefiting was the customer, because DoorDash was spending a lot of money to deflate prices. Restaurants were spending a lot of money to try to get DoorDash customers. The only people who had a good experience were the users. Obviously now, why is DoorDash so expensive? It's because they actually priced everything inaccurately. AI is going to trend towards that. So like as an example, I use Anthropic. I don't get ads in my prompts. I have friends that use OpenAI or use free chat GPT, and they do get AI ads in their prompts. So like it's going to be the same thing of like Google is going to monetize their prompts. So it's kind of going to become the same thing as every other ecosystem where it's like, how many ads are you willing to stomach and how much are you willing to pay? The more ads you're willing to stomach, the less you're going to have to pay. And that's a personal decision.
But to bring some like ray of light or ray of hope back into this, right? Like John mentioned something earlier in the show about like some hardware that you can buy about $5,000 that can run a bunch of models. It's not going to run a frontline model. It's not even going to run like a sonnet, right? But if you compare we'll just use Haiku, like Anthropic's lowest worst model, right? This is still an extremely powerful AI model. And if you can run something comparatively to that locally and just effectively on your desk, you can do things that, you couldn't imagine having done several years ago. So I think that sort of like technology will also scale up to meet that sort of changing landscape where right now we're kind of cooked. But as, more open source models get better, and there was you probably talked about it on the news, but there was like a paper that came out from I can't remember who it was, but they did some crazy math and like really shrunk down a very powerful model. It's blanking on me now, but like
TurboQuant.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that one.
So TurboQuant is a Google basically technology that will shrink the value of the KV store. So that will significantly improve or reduce VRAM usage for home or for everyone, but especially benefiting home users. I mean, I think it's like self-hosting and that stuff has always been the same. Like Google Drive came out and you could just upload whatever files you wanted to Google. Then Nextcloud came out or what, like, you know what I mean? It's like you have self-hosted alternatives that have always been an option. AI will be one of those options. It will be, the experience with Google Drive and with Nextcloud are different, and there's pros and cons to each.
I
feel like that's I feel like that's a fine comparison, but like if you look at storage costs over time, it took a really long time for those to become more affordable. And I don't know like if compute in terms of like GPU or CPU or even like VRAM power is going to get to that point where that's somewhat affordable in the near future. Like RAM prices just keep going up.
Well, that's because they keep building data centers to keep going in the arms race. So we're like in the middle of it, right? But I will say there are a couple local model stuff that is starting to move into that space, right? So one of them that I currently have is actually like transcribing. If you want to transcribe your meetings or whatever, you have all these people that show up to the meeting, they all run AI. Well, you could do that locally on your computer now. Like the models and the computers are fast enough, you can have all of that local. So there is more that we're going to see where that AI essentially large language model gets moved onto the device to do those chores as opposed to needing to send it off to Anthropic to do that. Does that make sense? So we will see that more and more, but also Anthropic's going to come up with a model that can do more and more. So
exactly. It's like running Crisis, right? It's like on some level, we get past the point where running Crisis is actually necessary? Like, did anyone actually play through the whole campaign? Like, I don't know.
They just benchmarked.
That's kind of where we're at with AI models. Like they're going to get so good that it's like, who is using the full capacity of this model? Like, how are you? Honestly, even now, I would argue it's to the point where the only way to use the full capacity of something like an Opus 5 or whatever, a GPT 5.5, is to basically give AI control over your entire life and all your projects. If you're willing to do that, go for it, man. But like that's, I think, a little bit of a jump, and it's only going to get more capable, and I'm going to use less and less of the capabilities, if that makes sense.
And that makes sense, but I think you're also like in the security minority of that kind of space where you have this security mindset and you've seen like all the bad things that can go wrong. Whereas even folks in the security world see this can save me 40 hours a week on things that I don't have time to do. And the trade-off to them is worth that potential risk, right? Because they're assuming if we get hacked because of something that happened to Anthropic, that's an excuse that we could use.
True. I mean, it's not even, for me, it's not even the security implications. It's just the quality and runaway considerations for me. So like,
that's true.
Like if you talk to AI enough, you're going to back it into a corner. Even to this day, it's less and less happens, but like it's going to get into a point where if it had autonomously made decisions and it would have designed something that I would not have been happy with, or it would have given me code, like it would have written something in a way that I wouldn't be okay with. And so like if you take the human out of the loop, which is arguably what you need to maximize the capabilities of these models, I think the quality goes down, and then that becomes a loop where it keeps reading its own shitty prompts and is like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm still stuck. But I'm going to try again. I'm going to refactor the code one more time and see if I can get that bug that I didn't get the first 5 times.
It's turning us all into PMs. Like the better project manager you are, the better your output will be. Because it's like a good
define requirements. Yeah,
exactly. You give it a good PRD, and it'll actually go and do probably a pretty good job of what you're asking it for. It can go and execute on these things. Yes. And they say thinking, right? But they can only think so much. Like they're not going to come up with novel solutions. So you as the human being need to drive the process to get an actual result.
Yeah. Yep. All right. John said he regrets starting this conversation about AI.
God knows we wouldn't have gotten here without me. So
yeah, he just put in the chat, Corey, please stop.
Corey.
All right.
Exit.
Thank you all for coming. May Mythos not crush your life.
No.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Well, that was lovely.